I'm Johnny Spade, the new Ohio Valley heavyweight champion with the pretty new belt around my waist.
I'm Shiloh Jones.
My name is Ron Head. I'm the announcer for OVW. I'm Jamin Olivencia.
I'm Alex Silva. I'm Rocco Bellagio.
I'm Kerry Bodie, the Ohio Valley Wrestling fan advocate.
Raphael Constantine.
I'm Rand Perez. My name's Muhammad Ali. Baez.
I'm Paradise.
This is Jack Black. This is Ohio Valley Wrestling. Referee Chris Sharp.
This is Sexy Sean Casey. I'm Chris Silvio.
This is Michael Hayes. This is Jason Wayne.
And I just want to tell you right now to make sure you listen to Triple Threat Talk. Boop, boop, ah!
And welcome everyone to another exciting edition of Triple Threat Talk. No matter how many times you look over there, Postmaster's not going to see. But today he should be back by now. I mean, whoa, someone's here. Postmaster. Ladies and gentlemen, we are joined today by Michael Hayes. Michael Hayes. Michael Hayes.
Michael Hayes.
Good to see
Not
you.
the Freebird.
Not the Freebird, Michael Hayes. Wow. That's definitely I would say an improvement from Postmaster.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope so.
He's a little bit bigger. Got the hair thing going on. That's good. That's good. Thank you for
Does
joining.
he even have any hair?
Sometimes. A little bit. There's been times where he's had it. Sometimes he's completely bald, and you know. Yeah, and he says no hats on the show. I think it could help him take notes. Yeah, right. So, I got some stories breaking out about the Saints, about Bobby Petrino today on Triple Threat Talk. But before we delve into everything, we are going to first start off with some views or questions. And before we do that, our guest host today actually had a great idea we're going to start doing. The questions that we don't answer on the air. So, just pay attention to the one we do answer. Mm-hmm. If your question is not answered, we're going to put it up on Facebook, our responses. So, that gives you a little bit more incentive. Follow us on Facebook, follow us on everything. So, everyone's questions will be answered, just not all of them will be aired. Right. All right.
Thinking of you guys.
Yes. So kicking off our viewer questions, as you call them, or as I call them. As you call them. From the CAW interviewer, he wants to know, which WWE superstar would you love to see be in a tag team? I mean, I think Shawn Michaels plus anybody, really. I think, like a mid-carder, like a kind of thing, like, probably put, although, like, with more recently issued superstars, I think I'd like to see Wade Barrett and someone a little bit more up to the top, like Randy Orton or somebody. To that point, right. I mean, aren't you ready to see Wade Barrett take off on his own? I am, but I think for some reason he's still, I don't know, like, they still put him in title matches, but not really, and all that stuff. I want to see him be able to I do want to see him take off where he is the guy, because, in my opinion, he's the most talented guy they have. Okay. But that's just me. Right. For me, I did like what they did with Dolph Ziggler, putting him with somebody, not necessarily Jack Swagger. I thought that he needs. I do like Dolph Ziggler with somebody, even though I do want to see him eventually achieve and get up there. But I think he still needs to work with some people. I think David Otunga is not strong enough on his own. I think he needs to work with somebody. I think he was good in the Nexus. He was kind of the big, strong guy in the Nexus. I think he needs to be pushed with the tag team on his own. He doesn't work for me. And like I think the tag team division is starting to work. I think Primo and Epico are a pretty good team. I think the Usos are a team on the rise. And the team they fought at WrestleMania, Justin Gabriel and Tyson Kidd, they're putting them together, but it could work, and they could also bring people up from other areas. So,
I like the Ziggler point. I think Ziggler he makes anybody look awesome. Anybody put next to him. I like what they're doing right now, to be honest with you. I like the tag teams they're putting out. I think they have a lot of talent down in FCW that they could really build from. Yeah, I mean, obviously, Michael Hayes in any tag team, I think would be awesome. Yeah, Michael Hayes, Shawn Michaels? Well, Shawn Michaels is retired. If he came out of retirement, maybe. Really, I think there's anybody. I'll take John Cena. He's on a little down, so we got F5 on Raw, But John, if you need anybody, I'm your guy. Just give me a holler. All right. I did just beat Jack Black.
With an epic code breaker.
Yeah.
So, another question from the CW interviewer. This is kind of the same, but a little bit different. What would be your dream tag team in the WWE? He doesn't specify, so just dream. Just dream, Gary. Just dream. Like I said, I'm gonna sound a lot like this one does, harping on Cody Rhodes, but Wade Barrett and DX. I think you add him to that mix, and you have all sorts of potential, like the New Age Outlaws and Wade Barrett, or Shawn Michaels and Wade Barrett, or
Triple H and Wade Barrett or Michael Hayes and Wade
Sorry,
Barrett.
I'm not ignoring you. I'm just imagining Wade Barrett doing the crotch chop.
Right.
I can't see it.
That's my thing.
I couldn't see it.
can't see that.
I couldn't see it. Sorry.
But yeah, I mean, I think...
Could you really say I'm two wolves? It's sulky. I can't see it. Sorry.
It's funny. I like that.
I can't see it. Dream tag team for me. I mean, if it could be anybody, because he says at the moment, but it could be anybody. In history, I'd say Dolph Ziggler and Shawn Michaels because I see Dolph Ziggler as kind of like Shawn Michaels, the charisma in the ring. He's very talented. He's got a bright future. Mm-hmm. As of right now, I mean, the people that I like Sheamus and Cody Rhodes, I like them on their own. I don't think they need to be in a team. So I think at the moment, there's no one really at the moment that I like to be together, honestly. So,
if I could pick anybody from any point in the WWE history, I would pick Shawn Michaels and Macho Man and have Sherry Martel be there. Or Sherry, yeah. They're a little tongue tied on that one. But yeah, I'd have Sensational Sherry be their manager. That would be an epic.
Because she also managed both of them singly, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
And it was awesome when she managed both of them.
Yes.
That's a very good point.
So, the final question from the CAW interviewer, he wants to know, what would be your dream Super Bowl for 2013?
I think with the building that that we've shown in San Francisco, I think it's not only a dream Super Bowl. I think it's definitely possible. Is the beautiful thing about that. I think with the addition of Randy Moss, Mario Manningham, they're building up a receiving core, which was last year was their problem because they really only had two guys. They had Vernon Davis and Michael Crabtree, and I think that. And before Josh Morgan got hurt, Josh Morgan was definitely showing extreme promise, but. I think with the addition of the receiving core, kind of beefing up, and you have your long threat and your short threat and your mid-range threat, it's all there. They only lose like two people on defense, so that's not going to make a big difference. I think this addition of everything that the San Francisco 49ers have put out, San Francisco, and just because I want to see them have no excuses at all, because power outages, I would love to see the rematch of last year's Monday Night Football at Candlestick Park. I would like to see the Steelers in there.
For me, it's no surprise that I want Seattle in there. I do like the additions they've made. Matt Flynn from the Green Bay Packers is a very good backup.
Jimbo Ono will W right now.
What?
That's right.
Jimbo Ono will W right
James
now.
Ono, yeah, Jimbo is a big Seahawks
Yeah,
fan.
I'm aware of that. Jimbo. But I'm happy with Matt Flynn. I think he's a good pick. Pete Carroll is saying, because he wants to be fair, they're going to compete, but who's kidding here? Matt Flynn's going to get the job. I like Marshawn Lynch. Who doesn't like Marshawn Lynch? They need some good receivers. They're probably going to get some in the draft, maybe get some along the line. They need a better defense, but I think Seattle has a good chance to maybe make the playoffs this year. Obviously, they're my dream Super Bowl. And Super Bowl 40, I dread to bring up on this show, but I would like to see the Seahawks get revenge and beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in the Super Bowl.
Giants and Patriots. One more time.
One more time.
WrestleMania.
Tom Brady versus Eli Manning.
Tom Brady and his hair versus Eli Manning and Peyton as his back.
I see Rex Ryan versus Bill Belichick.
We gotta beat him. We have to beat him.
All right, the final question from CW interview will be answered on Facebook. It was about the Masters tournament, so we're going to cover that on Facebook. The Michael Cage, you had two questions. We're going to answer on Facebook about Christian and about the WrestleMania matches. Against All Odds 20, it wants to know, what was your favorite WrestleMania match ever?
The match ever? Favorite WrestleMania match ever?
Mm-hmm.
I'd say my favorite one actually does not include Shawn Michaels because it was the first main event where I actually had to rewind and watch it again. Because I was such a big Ultimate Warrior fan. I was more of a Warrior than I ever was a Hulkamaniac.
Same here.
Oh yeah,
I was a Warrior.
I loved the Warrior. I think the Warrior where the WrestleMania it was 6 where he beat Hulk Hogan and for the World Championship. That was just
double champ. Yep.
That was just amazing. He became a double champion, holding both the Intercontinental and the World Heavyweight belts. I thought it was amazing.
Yeah. For me. Favorite WrestleMania match ever, it's a toss-up between Michaels Hart at 12 and 25, Michaels Taker, but I'm going to go Michaels Taker because of the impact of the match where the streak is a behemoth at WrestleMania. 9 times out of 10, where Taker fights somebody, it's like, okay, the match is going to be good because it's Taker, but at the end, Taker's going to get the pin and the win. With Michaels, you didn't know. And especially someone with caliber like Shawn Michaels, you didn't know. You know, you assume Taker's going to win because that's how WrestleMania is. But with the match that was, Michaels pulled out all the stops, did everything to Taker. He pushed Taker as far as I've seen Taker been pushed at WrestleMania, and he still lost. But at the same time, the unpredictability of Michaels possibly ending the streak, because no one deserves to end the streak other than Shawn Michaels, in my opinion, because he pushed Taker as far as he could have been pushed. So that match was just awesome.
Shawn and Brett at 12. It's my favorite of all time. It was the moment that I knew I wanted to be a pro wrestler. I was a huge, huge Shawn Michaels fan. I could feel it that night. I knew it was about to happen. And what we saw that night was a change in the whole wrestling business. When that guy, that Shawn Michaels that we saw, was given the ball, and he just took off with it. And Monday Night Wars ensued, and he became the guy. He became the man that night, and it was awesome.
Yeah. I got also from Against the Law, it's 20. He wants to know about which WrestleMania you guys like best. That'll be answered on Facebook. JB11 wanted to know, do you think when Undertaker retires will be one of the saddest moments in WWE history? That'll be answered also on Facebook. And this question kind of piqued Michael Hayes' interest, so I'm going to let him go with this one.
Oh, the Sheamus Cena question
yes.
from JB11. Why is Sheamus becoming like John Cena? He's not. He's not becoming like John Cena. I don't even know what this question means. If you're referring to this BS I hear online and see online about moveset and all this malarkey that people spit out, he's not becoming like John Cena. John Cena, right now, is the only reason we still have a WWE. Because I want to work for him, and I will work for him someday, but I'm still a fan of wrestling. That's why I do what I do. John Cena is the only reason I still have a business to be in. I think. The business fell off. Guys disappeared, and they had to give somebody a ball. They had to put the company on somebody's shoulders, and it just so happened that John Cena made the opportunity for himself and took it and ran with it. And Sheamus is yet to do that. He's talented. He had his WrestleMania moment. He'll probably have a few more. He's only getting better. Awesome look. He looks different. He's cool, but he's not John Cena. No. John Cena has. If there's I'll go even as far to say if there's a mountain of some of the greatest pro wrestlers of all time, John Cena has his own mountain. He's made that.
And you know what? Like, I don't think you could say it any better than that.
No.
I give Cena a lot of flack on the show, but the fact of the matter is I've never once said I've never respected what he's done to the business. And I think that's a very great point. You know, they did have to give him a ball. I think now though the WWE is starting to realize that they can't just continuously cram it down our throats though. And that is the thing. Like I said, when Cena first started with Thugonomics, I liked him. I actually liked him. I mean, that's something that you guys are probably having a heart attack. What? The doctor at one point liked John Cena? Are you kidding me? No, I did when he was out, when he was part of the, no rules, this kind of thing. And then what Michael said is absolutely right. They gave him the ball, and he kept running with the ball and kept running with the ball. And WWE kept running with the ball and kept running with the ball. Even when they had newer talent like Randy Orton, not newer talent, but talent that was being built up more, like Randy Orton and the like.
Batista.
Yeah, and now we see an influx of great superstars that they don't know how to use correctly with Drew McIntyre. And then, Wade Barrett, they were on the right track, and then Big Show
decided
to
throw him off the track.
Yeah, randomly. But I think it's one of those things that I don't think Sheamus is even close to John Cena because, once again, yeah, they gave him a ball, and I don't see Sheamus getting that ball ever. No, but I mean, if it came down to it, I think he would take it and do great things with it. But no one can do what Cena's done recently in recent years.
No, I mean, this question befuddles me. I mean, is it because he was in the Kmart commercials because he's on TV now? No, Sheamus is not like John Cena. Bear in mind, he has good credentials. He's two-time WWE champion. He is the new World Heavyweight Champion. He's a King of the Ring winner. He's a Royal Rumble winner. He beat John Cena in TLC 2010 when no one thought it could be done. So, I mean, he's got great credentials, but like Michael said, there's a mountain that John Cena has achieved that no one's even close to. And think about it. Sheamus hasn't been in WWE for over 3 years. Mm-hmm. Less than that. So, he's not even close to mounting the success John Cena has. Sheamus is good. Do not dispute it. Sheamus is my favorite wrestler at the moment because he's different. He doesn't look like anybody else. But Sheamus is not even close to John Cena. Not even close.
Hogan, Rock, Austin, Cena. That's how it falls. Yeah. That's how it goes. That's
what about Michaels?
No. I love Shawn Michaels. If there's one person I study more than anyone, it's Shawn Michaels. But Shawn Michaels is an icon in wrestling. John Cena is an icon in entertainment.
Yeah, I think I agree with. Like, I think he's people that supersede the wrestling, not just
he went far. He went beyond wrestling.
If you ask like a wrestling fan who's Shawn Michaels, yeah, well, no. If you ask anybody who's Shawn Michaels, not everyone's gonna know. They're gonna know who Hogan is. They're gonna know who Austin is, and they're gonna know who Rock is and Cena is. So
yeah,
that's true. Did you have?
No.
All right, from the final question from Khalil Rocks, he said on Raw, The Rock said he wanted to become WWE champion. Do you think he'll become champion again?
It's The Rock, man. I mean, he can become champ whenever he wants. Now, I think they could go several places with this, and I think we will see them go several places with this. Of course, now it looks like Cena is going to be squaring off against Brock Lesnar very shortly, so that opens The Rock up to any number of avenues, and I'm interested to see which one that they pick. Actually, I'm very interested to see which one that they'll have The Rock going down. It's The Rock. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. Yeah, it's The Rock. I mean, if he's back full time, why not put the strap on him?
Yeah, I mean, he's heavy duty, or is that who he's playing? Or Roadblock?
Roadblock.
They're on to the G.I. Joe over there.
Hey, I was more of a Transformers guy, but I definitely follow the G.I. Joe, and I'm excited Jinx is in the movie, because that's going to be epic.
Alright, that does it for views or questions. Thank you for all the comments, questions, and queries that we all get every week. So now we're going to pick our viewer of the week, and that honor will go to Mr. Not you, Michael Hayes.
JB11, you got me. Your question stood out. It brings up a good discussion about both guys, and it really is a good segue into a discussion of the wrestling world.
Absolutely.
So, as hard as I laugh when I read the question, because it is absurd, it really does. It leads to a pretty good conversation. So.
It does.
So
congratulations, JB11.
So JB11, 2011, you are this week's Triple Threat Talk Viewer of the Week.
Whatever they said.
Yeah. Right. So now we move on to headlines. Play that clip from that one guy.
Oh, and for that, JB, you better watch OVW TV.
Yeah.
Just come to the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Doctor, give me the news. I got the bad case of the headline blues.
That singing's getting annoying.
Hey, you know what?
He's not even here.
It's singing. Yeah,
What's
it's a constant reminder of Postmaster. It was the jingle. You know, we had to edit it in, but it's like, Doctor, give me the news. I've got a real case of the headline blues.
Oh yeah.
I can see his disdain, and I'm disdained of it too.
And Postmaster just started singing it on the show one day, and one of our viewers actually put it into a video package, like a song package for us.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I did.
Well, you took it, but DJ Becker is the one that really kind of got that ball rolling. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Let's get to headlines here. Here, tomfoolery.
Yeah. We've had the kickoff season, the MLB, go down. Our local team, the Reds, did pitch a shutout to close it out 4-0 against Miami. So that was really cool. There were a lot of shutouts day one. Pittsburgh got shut out.
Yeah, there was a 16-inning game.
There was a 16-inning game going on.
Why not start off the baseball season?
I mean, it's just impossible for us to cover Major League Baseball within a show once weekly.
Yeah.
We're going to try our hardest, because when you have a game that starts 16 innings, you have 4 or 5 no-hitters and shutouts in the first day. This is going to be an amazing baseball season.
I like real sports like wrestling, so. No offense.
No, and I think it opens up an interesting discussion about is America's pastime still baseball?
Yeah. Without a doubt. Recently I've more and more become a fan of baseball. More so live at the going to the game, feeling the vibe, the ambiance of a baseball game is much more fun to watch on TV.
Yeah.
I'm still because we don't have a pro team here. I mean, I do. The bats are awesome. We have a great Slugger Field's amazing, but I'm starting to. I can't decide who I want to start pulling for. So
right.
if any people out there have suggestions, shoot them out there.
Yeah.
Obvious answer is Reds, but I'm
Right.
open to options.
All right. That's it for the baseball topic.
I think you had a tennis subject you want to talk about. This is where we really get sleepy on the show, Postmaster. Now we get really.
No, I like Djokovic.
You like
Epic! Yes!
Yeah.
Yes!
I think he's hilarious. I think that guy is awesome. He's an awesome athlete for one, and I think he is one of the funniest athletes out right now. I don't know if y'all seen some of his antics before.
I've seen it.
That's why I think it's his name is very fitting. His last name, Djokovic.
Okay.
Djokovic.
You never thought of that, did you?
No, I never thought about that. That's a good point.
I like the guy. I think he's cool.
So anyway, this past Sunday was the finals of the Sony Ericsson Open down in Miami, where WrestleMania took place. Mm-hmm. And Djokovic defeated the guy you thought was going to win the whole thing, Andy Murray. Beat him 6-1, 7-6. Murray did give him a good second set. This is a question that I don't know what to think of this. Murray was supposed to play Rafael Nadal in the semifinals. Nadal had to withdraw due to knee problems. And this is nothing new. He seems to be withdrawing from tournaments every so once in a while due to knee problems, obviously due to the physical way that he plays.
Right.
Now, as the tennis guru, as I am, I don't think he has much time left. Because if you're going to play that physical, and your body's going to wear out, you have to keep withdrawing from tournament here, tournament there, tournament here, tournament there. Eventually, your body's going to say, I can't go anymore. And that's going to be it.
And I think one of the points that you brought up to a point that I brought up earlier on the show, in one of the earlier episodes, was that Andy Murray, I thought, could make one last charge to be number one in the world. And you had him placed at fourth, and Nadal was second?
He's second right now.
I think that makes the job a little bit easier for Andy Murray if he does keep withdrawing.
Forgetting about Mr. Federer.
Well, Roger Federer, but has he even been... When was the last tournament he won?
Dubai, not that long ago.
Not that long ago? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm just saying that...
You never ever can count out Federer.
No, you can't count out Federer, but Murray's making a big run.
Well, he made some couple finals, yeah. So we'll see. But Nadal, not good.
The Baylor women go undefeated season 40-0. They're the first team, men or women's, to go 40-0 and take down the women's championship. That is amazing.
I don't care if you're a fan of women's basketball now. That's just impressive. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
40-0 and you have Brittany Griner.
She can dunk the ball. I mean, that's ridiculous.
She's amazing.
Yeah, what a year for Baylor. They got one of the hottest prospects in college football, and their team goes 40-0. I'd say it's a pretty good school.
Yeah, they're that Capital One Cup that no one really talks about, but they're in the top 10 in both men and women's divisions.
So way to go, Baylor, for sure.
The Final Four took place this last weekend. UK knocked off U of L in the Battle of the Bluegrass round 2. 61.
Made me drop my pen.
The one thing that hasn't changed with the absence of Postmaster and the addition of Michael Hayes, I'm still surrounded by U of L fans.
Can't get away from this, can you?
No, but they had an amazing year.
Yeah, they did.
U of L did. And, I mean, people say they underachieved, and I have to disagree for
Underachieved?
one. Exactly. A lot of people have said they...
Any people out there that think that team underachieved,
right.
Reveal yourself.
Yeah.
Because you are out of your mind.
You got another thing coming, and I'll tell you why. Because not only were they... I mean, and the one thing, I don't think you could say they underachieved, or that you can say that they were playing with house money. Because they were preseason number 4, and they were in the top 5 for the first 3 or 4 weeks. Mm-hmm. They just got a little injury prone.
Right. That's what happened. That's exactly why they didn't underachieve. That set them back so far because some of their key players. The thing is U of L doesn't have really a star. I don't think they have a star player.
I would agree with that.
I don't think they have an Anthony Davis. I don't think they have a Kid Gilchrist.
No.
I don't. I don't think they have a Sullinger. All those guys, these smart key players that some of the best teams in the nation have. What they do have is a good team.
Right. Yeah.
They have people that fill their roles very well. They do have a couple standouts, but they have a very good team. And when those cogs in the machine start to break and need to be fixed, that's what was setback. That was the biggest setback. Now, of course, if they stay healthy all next year and they don't make it to at least the Final Four again.
Right.
That would be underachieving.
Yeah. I mean, to Louisville's credit, I don't think anyone had him winning the Big East tournament.
No.
Honestly. And then,
except U of L fans.
Yeah, well,
U
yeah.
of L.
Well, I was surprised when they won, to be honest with you. And then when they got to the NCAA tournament, I did have them in the Elite Eight, but obviously the Missouri upset early said Louisville can make it to the Final Four, and they did, and then they fell to the hands of the champions of Kentucky.
And then, and like I said, I mean...
Went down fighting, though.
Oh, they did. 69-61.
Gave Kentucky the toughest game I've seen them have all since
and they had to play it twice. For whatever reason, Kentucky's road this year was marred by double games in the tournament. It was really nothing new.
Yeah.
But, Kansas...
They earned it, though.
They did. They very much earned it. And the other side of the bracket, Kansas beat Ohio State 64-62. Kansas was down 13 points at the half and came storming back to win that one to set up the national championship game of UK and Kansas. Big Blue versus Big Blue. Kansas falls 67-59 in an amazing championship game. Thoughts on that?
I mean, good job by Kentucky. I mean,
kudos.
Yeah, people had them winning the whole thing. A lot of people picked their brackets and they had Kentucky winning the whole thing, except for Postmaster had
Hope they can get taken down.
And I'm sure Postmaster's bracket went ripped. So, but I mean, credit to Kentucky. They did what people said they could do, and they got the job done with excellent coaching Calipari and an excellent group of kids. There was half of them are leaving, but good group of kids nonetheless.
The NBA is forming a committee to discuss the age change, maybe, because we've been, 5 or 6 years now into this 1 year removed from high school
which I can't
business,
stand.
Nobody can stand.
When did LeBron come out? 2003?
Yes.
Yeah, out of high school.
And this is just...
Kobe came out of high school, too.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people did.
Yeah.
LeBron, of course, being the last one to do it.
Mm-hmm.
This is just ridiculous. I think David Stearns has finally realized that it's muddying their own project, their own productivity, because you have these kids that could be so much better if they stayed 4 years in college, even 3 years in college, like football.
Yeah.
Football's 3 years. I think that it should be the same in the NBA at least, because some of these kids, like, how good is John Wall if he's still at Kentucky right now?
Yeah.
They still win the national championship, and last year they probably win it again, or they probably win it. You're talking number 9, not number 8.
Yeah.
And I think it's Shane Bohannon for U of L. I'll bring it home for the U of L guys here. Shane Bohannon, he's talking about leaving this year. If there's no one rule, I mean, how good is Shane Bohannon next year? We saw him have a fast-developing chemistry with Gorky Zhang over the last few games of the season. Of course, Gorky's coming back, and Shane may not be. Even though I'm a UK fan, I would love to see where that chemistry building is going.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just some amazing stuff. Jared Sellinger was supposed to go out last year. I don't see him going this year because he had a down year. Him losing all that weight definitely hurt it for the worse. But, guys, where do y'all sit on this? I mean, I can't be the only one to think that this 1 year business is absurd.
I mean, we're in the times now where these kids want to get paid.
Right.
And the fact that most of them are talented enough, obviously. They're talented enough to go. They get drafted and they make their millions, and that's exactly what they want to do. They know this is how the system works. They know they can go to college for a year, play their ball, do well, and then get a high draft pick to an NBA team and get their money. And that's why this needs to stop, because I think you can't play basketball forever. You have to have something to fall back on, and these kids are not going to, because they go to college for a year and then they play basketball. What if they get hurt? And then their career's over? What are they going to do then? So.
Yeah, that leads into a whole big discussion about how these kids should be handled, because they are kids. I do think, honestly, I mean, in my brain and the way I watch basketball, I do love basketball. I mean, I wouldn't mind making kids stay all 4 years, but I don't blame kids for wanting to go and chase their dream when the opportunity is presented. I do have a big problem a lot with even with the NFL too. All this mock draft talk. All this stuff about stock, all this stuff, these people that get into the brains of these kids and tell them how much they're worth and how much they'll make this year compared to next year and whatever, when all these kids should be doing is going out and going to college and playing basketball.
Yeah.
And that alone should be enough to be chasing their dream, but they have all these experts just barfing out all this knowledge to them about how much I hate putting a monetary amount to say somebody's worth this much.
Yeah.
That just irks me to no end, and it gets in these kids' heads and it gets in their families' heads, and it's just not fair to them, because then it completely just ruins their judgment on things. And I'm chasing a dream right now in wrestling, but I'm 25 also. I'm not 18 or 19. When you have millions of dollars put on the table for you, I do not blame those kids at all. Where a lot of them, and it's no secret, a lot of them don't come from the greatest economic background, and what we have going on right now in our economy, I don't blame them one bit for wanting to leave. But I would like to see these kids grow, and I think it'd be much better for college basketball to see these kids, these stars, stay and see what they can do, and I think it's worth bumping that age requirement up is worth a discussion for sure.
And actually, you brought up a very good point when you said that a lot of people put up a dollar amount on these figures. Like, let's just say someone tells Anthony Davis first year he's worth $1 million. All right, I know it's going to be more than that, but just to keep the discussion simple. What do you say to those agents where, like, what you should come back to with those agents and say, well, what am I worth if I stay all 4 years, barring I don't get an injury?
Right.
And that's something that I think a lot of people don't think about, because they want their money now, like you said. And I think that's a big problem, because right now we are in that materialistic society right now. And with the economy the way it is, once again, another great point, I don't blame them for trying, but you got to realize when you stay and you get more into coaching, you get more coached, you get more experience, you get more games, you go up against more teams over the course of a 4-year career than you do a 1-year career in the NCAA. I think that prepares you for almost everything, and it breaks the bank on what you're worth. And I think that's one of those things that a lot of these agents don't tell these kids, hey, we're gonna force that money out on you right now.
Yeah.
But later on, you
if
can
you stay, you're gonna lose it. That kind of thing.
It's
screw off.
It's ridiculous, and I mean that's just where we're at right now, and this has got to change, because I think now this may just be a committee, but this is a pebble that's going to start rolling down the mountain. That's going to create all sorts of interest, and you're going to have the big, huge avalanche calling for this to be changed, and it is about time. And they had to know it in 2003 when they put this rule out, that it was on borrowed time, and they had to. Yeah. Another big story: Red Sox closer Andrew Bailey. I want to keep calling him Andy. I guess he technically is Andy, but Andrew Bailey out with a broken thumb. That's not good news. The Colts worked out Andrew Luck privately. Robert Griffin III's agent denied them a private audience with his client. And then it came out to say Robert Griffin actually did not want to practice because he had his public workout and all that stuff. So we'll see where that leads to.
I like Robert Griffin. I'm looking forward to him playing. That's for sure.
I think RG3, RG3.
Redskins are going to be a beast next year if they get him, and they work him really well.
2 more sports stories recently breaking here. Arkansas football coach Bobby Petrino got into a motorcycle accident. I know you're thinking, who cares? I mean, we hope he's good.
Yeah, I saw pictures. I saw pictures. Doesn't look too good.
Well, the reason we're talking about this on the show is because he had somebody with him on the back of his motorcycle. It turned out to be Now, Bobby Petrino's married with 4 kids. This woman that was on the back of his motorcycle is a 25-year-old who is engaged to somebody on the Arkansas training staff. On the back of that motorcycle, he's uninsured on a motorcycle rider. I mean, it's just... And then you throw into the amount, who is this person? And then recently, in the last month, she started working at Arkansas.
She used to play volleyball for him as well?
Yeah, she used to play volleyball for him. This thing is going to get ugly, and it's going to get ugly fast. But that's what we know right now.
He's on paid leave.
Yeah, he's on paid leave. I don't know if he's technically gone because this isn't something that happened on. It's happened on his personal time.
Right, but
it's something that's going to be like the Patino Cipher case, though. It's going to mar his image, and it's going to mar it badly.
Not a former Louisville coach there.
Yeah,
not that it's already marred or anything.
Right, yeah.
Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't trust Petrino. I don't know many that do.
Whatever. Can I cuss on the show?
We Papa John's kind of.
Oh yeah, sorry, Papa John's. Carl, I won't do it.
That's for you, Carl.
Private life is private life, but you have to know when you are a head coach of a marquee football program. What are you thinking?
Yeah.
Come on, man. We all make mistakes, though. But I can't judge. But let's just, you gotta really cover your corners if you're gonna be that kind of shiesty. You pull that kind of stuff. On her too, not just him, both of them. They're both adults, so at least nobody got hurt severely or they're killed at least.
Right. Yeah.
I know he had
he was pretty banged up. Yeah.
Ribs and scarred up his face a bit, but I don't think he'll lose his job though. I'll be surprised if he lost his job. He's really that's a good football program down there.
You're doing a good job, Arkansas.
They've had some good football teams, and I don't see this doing too much down there to his affecting his job. Might not be the most popular guy.
No.
But how'd your wives? How'd your girlfriend? But yeah.
Oh, well.
It's funny stuff. The doctor needs a doctor right now, so bear with me.
The other sports star he was going to mention while he's choking over there was, we all know what's going on with bountygate. The Saints issues continue to arise, and it actually was reported today or yesterday? Yesterday that there's some audio from defensive coordinator Gregg Williams, who was with the Saints, now it's with the Rams, about some interesting comments about some 49ers players.
Yeah, he said that going into the game, the semifinals before the NFC semifinals, so going into the game before the NFC Championship game, the Saints had a locker room discussion about the offense of the 49ers, saying that when you cut off the head, the rest will follow. And of course, they were talking about the head being Frank Gore. They said, attack the head, hit the head. Whenever you tackle him, push up, maybe like that on his head or whatever. I think obviously disgusting stuff. Thank you. Obviously disgusting talk. One of the other things that they were talking about was Kyle Williams. He's got a concussion. Let's make him more confused. That was the end of that. I think perhaps the most disturbing imagery of all, though, comes from one Michael Crabtree. They said, when you tackle Crabtree, let's make him be human. When you tackle him, go for that ACL. Snap that ACL. We want that ACL done. Among other things, talking about Vernon Davis and how they want his ankles to be up in the air and twist his ankles whenever they tackle him. Just disgusting stuff by Gregg Williams. We were talking about where I don't think Petrino will lose his job over his scandal. Gregg Williams is done. He's done.
He's suspended for this year.
He's suspended for this year. If he is not, after hearing that, if he is not done with the NFL, I just don't know.
As long as I've been watching football, this is one of the most despicable things I've heard of. Especially when you say things like go for the head. These guys, this is their job. I mean, it's obviously an awesome job to get to do what they love for a living. Like Michael gets to do what he does for a living. But you say go for the head, that's ending their career and putting them not just out of a job, but it could impact their life for the rest of their lives. So it's just, he definitely shouldn't have a job ever again, and it just disgusts me.
Football's a brutal sport. Its roots are brutal. We're starting to see measures taken to protect players more, but it's still a brutal sport. With that, purposely going out to try to ruin somebody's life kind of sucks. But my question with all of this is how many other teams are doing this?
Yeah.
I find it almost impossible to believe that it's only the Saints.
Yeah.
The culture of football. I just foresee this being not in every team.
Yeah.
But there's got to be more. and to see where this started, who started this all. How long has this been a part of Saints football? Like, protocol. Who brought it in, and where has it gone so far? And really, I mean, it's kind of. I mean, I that's why I like football, because it is hard knock. It is in your face. It is those guys go out there and beat the crap out of each other. But yeah, it is kind of disturbing.
Yeah, it brings up a good point when he says, like, how long has it been going on? It's kind of like similar to baseball. When someone does steroids, well, how long have they been doing it, and who else is doing it? And then it comes out, this guy did it, this guy did it, and this guy did it. So.
And like I said, I mean, there's just nothing else to be said about it. It's disgusting, especially now with this audio. And, of course, the audio resurfaced. They're bringing back for 30 for 30, which is awesome. That's why this
Are they doing one on it?
Yeah, the guy who produced it, who brought this out, actually has the tape. He's in the process of doing a 30 for 30 about it, and that's where all this came from. So I think that that's going to be another good thing for ESPN, because 30 for 30s were awesome.
Exactly.
They were great films about sports.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, that's headlines, guys.
That's headlines.
That's good stuff. Moving on, though, some other of the sports. Right now, we did have a golf question. The leaderboard right now at Augusta is Lee Westwood #1 at 5 under, so that we'll definitely keep an eye on that. Tiger Woods, for those of you who are interested,
his tee time is at 142.
142, and he has even par, so that's good. And another big name, Phil Mickelson, was 1 over at the last check of the board. So we're going to definitely go into that since the Masters will be over by the next airing of Triple Threat Talk. We'll go into the Masters a little bit and talk about that. Full Metal Jousting came back.
God.
I'm going to keep this one short because there's not a whole lot of cool stuff happened this week.
Never does.
The black team's Rope versus red team's Josh. They did have a double unhorsing. A couple broken lances. Rope does not win. It came down to pretty much overtime. The 8th pass. Josh got a strike on him, which was barely a strike. They went back. They looked at the tape. It was a millimeter on the gridded guard grand. To win the joust 19-18. Joust number 2, red versus red, so it became red versus silver. James versus Jake. The 8th pass came down to it. They all James had to do was get a broken lance on him, and it looked like his lance was parrying and was gonna snap. Didn't happen like that. So Jake wins the joust 11-7. And the joust number 3, black team's mad and red team's. Thanks, Michael. This one was a snooze fest. And what happened in the final was Matt won 3-2. So that is it for Full Metal Jousting.
When you talk about Full Metal Jousting, I don't know if you're talking about baseball or bowling or soccer.
About strikes.
I don't know what you're talking about there.
Yeah, I know. But, I mean, it is. Jousting was the most dangerous sport of all time. Let's talk about football.
Well, to your credit, people make comments that they do enjoy the show.
People do enjoy the show.
It's not like no one watches it.
It's not like no one watches it. That's the reason we cover it. Yeah, to each his own.
I prefer medieval times jousting.
The only thing that I have about Full Metal Jousting is I would love to see jousting come back, just not as a partial reality TV show. Because I have to admit.
Here's what you do. Go to a Renaissance fair, you'll be all set.
Yeah. I pretty much fast forwarded to the end of the jousts. I mean, to right when they joust, I'll skim through it because I don't care about the reality. I would love to see this like basically. It's not
reality. That's why you don't care about it.
Yeah, right. I would love to see this kind of how they do, these big tournaments like these tennis tournaments or whatever. You show up with your horse. You duel it out over the course of a weekend. That's the kind of jousting I want to see brought back.
Yes, have a 16-man tournament where 15 men get maimed and one person wins.
I would love to see that, and I think that's when jousting will take off again. Is when it comes down to that, because this, although it's a good show and we get good product, the reality portion of
the doctor wants a future for more violence.
It's gotta go. NHRA Top Fuel.
Going straight.
Top Fuel went to Spencer Massey. Pro Stock by Alan Johnson. And for the 4th time this year, all four races have been won by Team John Force. Robert Height pulling down the win in the funny cars. You watch NHRA at all? Any kind of NASCAR? Any kind of racing at all?
I have. I used to play with them a lot when I was little.
Hot Wheels.
talented guys. I don't watch very much NHRA and I don't watch very much NASCAR. I watch more NASCAR than anything. But I'm not a huge fan, but I do have an appreciation for the talent and the work that goes into those races and those cars because I could not do it. So
nah, and it's one of those things that
it's more than just driving straight or driving in a circle. That's for sure.
When I hear people tell me that these drivers are not athletes, it gets on my nerves. The same when they say wrestlers are not athletes, and he will tell you, does this guy look like he's not an athlete? I mean, seriously.
I mean, if you get your license, if you don't think you're an athlete.
Yeah, really. Step in the ring and get your butt whooped. Get some chops from Johnny Spade and see how you like it.
It really is one of those things where I'm just like, really? NASCAR Ryan Newman took home the win at Martinsville. Postmaster's boy.
I'm going left.
Postmaster's boy Tony Stewart finished 7th, and Jeff Gordon did lead the most laps coming out of Martinsville. As usual, that is sports for Triple Threat Talk. Now we go into
the more exciting portion.
Because
we got a fellow OVW wrestler here, so we're going to dive into OVW real quick. Before we do that, our weekly interview this week was with none other than Smooth Johnny Spade, the OVW Heavyweight Champion. So here's an interview with Smooth Johnny Spade.
Triple Threat Talk fans, we got a real treat for you tonight because last time we talked to this man, he was with his tag team partner, Shiloh Jones. Tonight, we get him single, Mr. Smooth Johnny Spade.
What's going on, peeps? I just want to say what's up. Now, what are you going to ask me here tonight?
Well, the last time we saw the World Championship, it was around the waist of Rudy Switchblade, and now it's got a new owner, and doesn't it have a new look? Something's going on with it.
Well, we kind of got a new look to it. Obviously, it's my first title reign. I won the title. Danny Davis actually had Trailer Park Trash and come out and present me with this beautiful piece of equipment right here.
Wow.
And I must say it was an honor and a privilege to be the first one to hold this belt.
That is just an amazing piece of hardware right there.
It is. Beautiful piece of hardware.
How does it make you feel to be the first one to wear that?
It was overwhelming because I didn't know they were going to present me with it, to be honest with you. So the reaction that you all saw was an actually legit reaction. I had no idea that was going to happen. So for that to happen to me, I mean, I can't even really sit here and act like Johnny Spade is at the moment. I was caught up, and I'm thinking about it now. It does me a little emotional because it was really, truly an honor for them to do that on my behalf. And I'm privileged, so that's why I kind of hold it with as much respect and as much honor as I possibly can.
And I'll tell you what, one of the things you see us out here in the audience cheering you guys on every week.
Absolutely.
You know, like you've been one of our favorites from day one.
Awesome.
So.
Awesome.
I did want to ask you because I know that with this coming up, it's definitely a little bit of a good kind of emotion.
Yeah.
I want to kind of go forward to this Saturday at the Saturday Night Special that might be bringing up some emotions you don't know how to deal with because you're going to be wrestling arguably your best friend, definitely one of your best friends in Shiloh Jones. How do you feel about it?
Well, like you said, usually I come out here, I joke, I have fun, cut an amazing promo, but as you said, it has been a little more real. It hits home with me, you see, because he's been a friend of mine for a long, long time. Even when we wrestle each other, but I do know what the fans are going to get when they watch that match is nothing but the best, because every time we have wrestled, we have excited these fans up and down, whether he's been bad, whether I've been good, vice versa, doesn't matter. Even when we're together, so the electricity of us being in the ring together is going to be amazing. I'm very happy for him to get this title shot, but I can assure you I do not plan on losing this belt.
I wanted to going forward with that. Lately, the family's been kind of sticking their nose in your business a little bit. Last week, they pushed you into Shiloh, and Shiloh thought that you pushed him, and it took the efforts of one Mr. Jamin Alavencia to kind of push that back.
Yeah.
You got any words of caution for the family, or just your general feelings on that?
I'm gonna just get to the point with this. The family's been a thorn, cliche, in my side for a long time. That's no doubt. Everyone sees that. But as you can see, I keep winning. So I could give a rat's what the family gets into or gets involved in. Shiloh might want to watch this, but I don't care. I've been doing this for a long time, but somehow I keep it bailing. So to me, I don't really care. I'm going to win regardless.
Johnny, it's always an honor to talk to you.
It's a pleasure. Whoop-it, whoop-it. Keep watching.
And we want to thank not only Johnny Spade, but Ohio Valley Wrestling in general. I mean, we say this every week, Michael. It's like it's been amazing that we can do this with you guys. That we feel like we can interview the talent. We feel like we're a part of OVW. It's what
you guys are.
We feel like a part of them. We want to thank them. each and every week we get to do this stuff. It's just awesome for the show, and it's been a great improvement for the show, I think.
It's good for us. I view OVW as it's rich in history, but right now, as most things do, you need there's always a downtime, and there is a resurgence and whatnot. And OVW definitely had its downtime. And right now, I'm thinking what you're seeing is a resurgence, like a grassroots movement here in Louisville for pro wrestling. You're starting to see more and more OVW, just anything everywhere with our thing with Papa John's. We're starting to get more exposed and out there, and the product is being shared with a lot more people, and you guys have helped with that. Coming in and interview the guys on the roster, doing your show, talking about our television product, everything. So you're definitely part of OVW now.
Right, thank you.
And I know I appreciate it. So.
And it's awesome to hear stuff like that. I remember when we came back for the second week, I will never forget this. Trailer Park Trash was shocked to see us because he said people have tried to do this before, what we do. And he said they usually stop after the first week and they don't come back. And, we've been doing it. It's been a blast. We walk in.
Fun. Yeah.
It's fun to talk to you, especially. I mean, it's fun to talk to all the guys. It's a different environment.
It's cool that Dean Hill actually mentions us on the show.
Yeah, Dean Hill mentions us now.
Dean Hill talks about you.
Yeah. He thinks Gilbert and Kenny are his version of Triple Threat Talk.
Exactly.
Who would be? No.
But anyways, let's
go.
Move right into
This is from last week. This is last Wednesday. Show started off with the family, which I know you love, Michael.
The family?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Wait, Josette giving my job back.
Yeah. So
good job.
Yeah, Josette gave Trash a chance. He gave him a chance to back out of the match with Rob Terry this Saturday at Saturday Night Special. So Rob Terry put on a little exhibition and beat up Nick Dumeyer, Andrew Patton, and Chase King, threw those guys around the ring. So that was interesting.
Who couldn't you throw around the ring?
I think the only one I've seen was maybe Marcus Anthony, but other than that, he could pretty much throw anybody around the ring.
Yeah. So after Rob Terry had his little display, Charlotte Jones came out and said he has a problem with Muhammad Ali Vaez, which I know you are fond of.
You had your own problems with Ali Vaez.
He brought it on himself. So,
that's true.
Because the week before he got involved in the match against Jamin. So that was that was the opening segment between Shiloh Jones, Muhammad Ali Vaez, and the family. And then Adam Revolver. He's a little stirring the pot there with Miss Brittany Devray and Ted McNeil trying to stir things up with Ted, trying to manipulate Brittany to maybe leaving Ted and go with him. That's what it seems like to me.
Mm-hmm.
So
go for that younger stud, as he called it.
Yeah. So once again, the TV
Ted has better hair though. So.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, you got the man beast look. That look is awesome.
Yeah.
The man
Adam
beast
has no hair.
Adam has no hair.
So then Silvio had a match with David Osborne, and Silvio once again keeps his TV title. He needs to face somebody like, I don't know, Michael Hayes.
Michael Hayes, the TV champion.
I'd love a shot at the TV title.
Yes.
And I think he knows that. I don't think I think that it may be a matter of time, but I'm going to tell you right now, that guy is one of the best kept secrets in pro wrestling. He's also been used on Ring of Honor recently.
Yes.
A few times, and I think that'll be continuing. This guy, tactics aside, is entertaining.
Yeah.
And we are in sports entertainment. He is a pro wrestler and he is entertaining.
Yeah,
he's just getting started. I'm telling you that right now.
He was a good interview. Show 3?
Yeah, he was very good.
It was awesome. So then, like I said earlier, Revolver is trying to not just make waves with Deveray and Ted, but he's also trying to mix things up with Shiloh and Spade for the Saturday Night Special. He's trying to get Shiloh to say things about Johnny Spade, to get Johnny Spade mad at him, and them kind of
feud. Such a little worm.
When he's trying to maneuver his way around, he's talking about getting the family back together, and he's trying to kind of do his own little wormy thing in there.
Yeah, Revolver's, he's got some plans, that's for sure. So then,
that guy's way.
Yeah, absolutely. So Randy Royal took on Dylan Bostic in a 2-minute challenge. What that was, if Randy couldn't beat Dylan in 2 minutes, Dylan would win the match.
Right.
2 minutes right now. Dylan picked up the win, and I don't know what's going on. Maybe he can fill us in. I don't know what is going on with Dylan Bostic and Taylor Hendricks. I don't know.
Yeah, what's the locker room? What's the locker room saying about these two?
Well, I would say right now, usually, when I'm in the locker room, I get ready and I zone in for whatever task is at hand for me. But I do watch on the monitors. I do like to watch, usually just to see, Because at any given point, I could be in the ring with any of these guys. So I like to watch whoever is out there. What I noticed in the Randy Royal, because Randy Royal, he's kind of a beast. He's been around a while. He knows what he's doing in there. Dylan's talented too. Great looking kid, really athletic. But this whole Taylor Dillon thing is very weird to me. It's very odd. Me personally, I don't want. I love women. I love females. In every aspect. I love my mom. I love my sister. I love, whatever. But I would never want one of them to stand up for me and fight my fights. And that's what I'm starting to see here. I don't get why Dylan has to have Taylor around to perform in a match, to compete. I don't know. That's just what I saw. But that's what I think about it. So it's we'll see what happens.
Seeing is believing.
He also, he needs to watch who he pops off to the mouth to, just because Taylor's around. Yeah. Because he could end up getting hurt. So. Yeah.
Absolutely. Now we get to a topic that's very near and dear to Mr. Michael Hayes, because we actually saw Michael Hayes defending Mickey, and Bowen yet again got involved. And actually, I'm seeing something here, and we've talked about this before. Moose defending Mickey, and I personally think, after the Saturday Night Special, I think Moose will be out of Bowen services and on his own, because I think Moose sees Bowen bullying Mickey. I don't think Moose is very happy with him bullying him. And then Bowen made a match, because he makes matches apparently. He made a match between Michael Hayes and Moose, which took on...
Oh, no, he doesn't make anything. I'm telling you right now, Prince has no power. Trust me, he has to go run to Josette to get that match made. Prince will just make matches. I don't care who he is.
He's not the king. He is the prince.
Yeah, he has to go sign his permission slip and make sure Daddy's okay with it.
Yeah, right. Take us through what happened with Moose, because you were obviously in the ring. It's very rare we get this perspective. When you were in the ring with Moose, what were you thinking? What was going through your head?
Moose is a monster. I wanted to go toe-to-toe with him since I've been in OVW. I'll be honest. You call it stupid, but I like challenges, and Moose is one heck of a challenge. The guy's a multi-time OVW champ. He was so dominant at one point, they just took the title from him because he was just hurting people.
Yeah.
I don't know if you all remember.
That's
that.
old.
That's a while back.
That's a while back.
I mean, it's... Moose is probably one of the most talented, most powerful men that we have in OVW. It's just unfortunate that he's associated with a... I'd like to use the word worm again, but I don't even know what to describe Bowen as. And have that yappy yard dog, Joe Coleman, and Jack. I don't know what happened to Jack. Jack, what? I don't know. Fat and Furious, whatever happened? Travis gets a new job, and you just immediately revert back to old ways. But oh well. My thing is, as a member of, and I use this term loosely, disabled family, and a group of people, special needs, if you will, we're all lumped into the same category. I take special offense to anyone that just decides to degrade and pick on somebody because they feel like they're a lesser being because of their special needs. I'll have you know, I was in the beginner's class with Mickey. He's a brilliant kid. He's an awesome kid. And he deserves better. So, if I have my way, Mickey will no longer be a part of that.
Yeah, I like what Moose is doing with him. I like what Moose is defending him.
Now, I think we're starting to see a little, there is a little heart in the monster of Moose. We're starting to see that. I think Mickey brought it out. Moose still beat the crap out of me.
But he did pick up the win.
I mean, I won. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of, it happens. You're not going to see too many one-legged guys dominate a guy like Moose. So, I'll take that. But Saturday Night Special, once you all watch the OVW television, you all will know why I walk with a... Besides obvious reasons why I walk with a limp right now and why my back is so sore, it's going to explode. It's going to come to a head, and I'll die in the ring before I let Mickey stay with Bowen Services. I refuse to allow that to happen to anyone. Just so you know. That goes for anyone out there.
And I want to ask you a follow-up, and I think he touched on it a little bit. When we're seeing what Moose is doing with Mickey, defending him this week, and we can talk about it now because we're filming the show a little bit later than we usually do, but on this week's episode, we saw Mickey be pushed to the corner and Moose pretty much use himself as a human shield.
Yeah.
When you're in that ring, you were laying flat up.
After being squished by Jack Black.
Black, which you still won the match, amazingly. What was your thought? What after you go back and watch the tape and you see this?
I've seen it.
What were you thinking of Moose? What did it?
It was kind of. It was almost like impressive to see, because I have such a respect for James Moose Thomas. I like to see that he knows what the right thing to do is, and what he did Wednesday. I don't care. I was in my own match. I brought that on myself. I signed that match. I went into it knowing who I was going up against in Jack Black, and another monster of OVW. Who's been around for quite some time and is still dominant. But laying there, bless his heart, Mickey should have never gotten that ring. But luckily he had Moose come in and take care of him, so he didn't get hurt, because there's no telling what would have happened if he would have got splashed, or chokeslammed for that matter, Rocco. So, yeah. I did like to see. I was impressed seeing that when I watched it back.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good insight into a mind that was actually in the ring that's going through all this, and then you got a match coming up Saturday Night Special against the final member of Bowen Services, Rocco. So you know who we're going to be pulling for in that one, but you got any thoughts on that?
I love being underestimated. It makes the chip on my shoulder that much bigger. And Rocco, that's exactly what you're doing, and I know that's what kind of message you were trying to send, that you are the dominant man, you are the big man at Bowen Services. Well, the thing is I've become accustomed to, and I guess picked up a talent in chopping down the trees that is the forest of Bowen Services. And you're just the next one in line, big man. You're in for a rude awakening. I promise you that. I hit hard, and every time you knock me down, I get up just that much harder. So, trust me, you're in for the fight of your life.
Should be a good match.
If you get a chance, do us here at Triple Threat Talk a favor, and code break him off the top rope like you did Baez.
I'll give it a shot. I'll do whatever I have to take. So, whatever I have to do.
So another feud.
You will be seeing some stops.
Yeah.
I'll be pulling out the stops.
Another feud that's been going on still is Paradise and Espinoza. And on Paradise did his show, A Moment in Paradise. And
awesome.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Awesome.
And Espinoza comes out and interrupts the show. And they make a match for Saturday Night Special. They fought last 3 Saturday Night Specials, I believe. They've had one match, and then they had the dress in a pole match on this match. And Espinoza loses the match. Paradise shows some footage that you wanted to see this past week, but he didn't show you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not going to lie. With, given the situation, I don't want anybody to presume anything, but I mean, Paradise is kind of tight. He's one of my boys. I was hoping he'd kind of slip me a sneak peek, a little spoiler alert, but no. Apparently it's awesome. It should be pretty good. Espinoza, man, he picked the wrong. He's picking on the wrong person here. I'm telling you, buddy. I'm telling you. I've seen this guy at work for the last 2 years, and Paradise can really lay it into people. No, I mean, I better watch what I say. I don't want to. But yeah, Espinoza, your time's a ticking.
There's a problem with people in OVW picking on the wrong person. Espinoza on Paradise, Baez on you.
For the wrong reasons. It's just because they're different. What? It's 2012, people. Come on.
So, Revolver was making his way around the arena
tonight.
He's making his way around. He continues to stir the pot between Spade and Shiloh. And then Josette, she makes a match for this past week between Shiloh and Spade as OMG. And they took on X2C. And they ended up losing the match because of disdain and distractions in between the team.
And we were LOL. Nothing?
No.
Nothing?
No.
Nothing? Okay.
So then, this is confusing because it's 2 shows pretty much, but the week before, Shiloh took on Ali, and during the match, Jamin attacked Ali on the outside and enabled Shiloh to pick up the win. That was occurring this week with a promo with Vaez and Jamin, who are going to fight at the Saturday Night Special, so that should be an excellent match, Jamin and Muhammad Ali Vaez.
That's going to be brutal, by the way. I don't know, if any of the fans out there that have seen any of their previous matches, they're going to rip each other apart.
Yeah.
So, get ready for that.
Yeah.
Hold on to your butts.
And despite his misgivings with you, we actually do like Ali. I mean, he's a great guy, a great competitor, and
I wouldn't say great guy. That's a stretch.
well,
He is a great athlete, and he is a top tier wrestler. The guy is he's same as Silvio. He's one of the best kept secrets in pro wrestling. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, just in getting my butt kicked for almost a year, because he handed it to me a couple times. That allowed me to learn so much because I had to watch all that back so many times. The guy is good. I wish he'd pull his head out of his rear end, but he is good. I wish he would realize. I know he knows how good he is, but some of his decision making is poor.
Yeah. So then the last thing we had last week was Josette and Rob called out Trash one more time, see if they can make him give up this match. But apparently, Bobby Hill came out.
Bobby Hill.
Yeah, Bobby Hill.
who got named this week.
Yeah,
so,
that's referencing this past show this past week.
It's posted. It's online. Watch it.
It's online. OVWrestling.com.
OVWrestling.com.
Ricky Chevy came out to make a name for himself against Chris Silvio, and Silvio named him Bobby Hill, and then he gave him a rocket punch and finished him off. But last week, Ricky Chevy comes out, wants to make a name for himself, and instead, Rob Terry made a handprint on Ricky Chevy's head. So after that, Trash came out, started attacking Rob Terry. Trash was getting some shots in, and then Rob Terry got a huge shot and laid him out again. So,
what happens when you go against Rob Terry? Rooting for Trash. I'm pulling for you.
yeah. So
I got your back, buddy, but yes, Rob Terry, man. But he can do it. Trash is a wily old guy, man. He's a fighter. There's a reason he has that name, Trailer Park Trash.
And we want you to watch the show, but Trailer Park Trash did something amazing. If just for a second, if you just want to delve in to OVW, because we know we've turned on a lot of our listeners to Ohio Valley Wrestling, just because a lot of you guys are out of state and you guys have tagged along since
There's the internet.
You got to go back. You got to check out this episode. We're not going to say what happens,
Right.
because we want you to watch it. But Trailer Park Trash does something so utterly amazing. It blew SmackDown out of the water. I mean, at OVW, we say it all the time, OVW's a lot better watch than SmackDown.
Yeah.
So if you want to watch anything, if you give your time to watching SmackDown, you got to give your time to watching OVW because they are 10 times better than SmackDown will ever be if SmackDown keeps doing what they're doing.
Yeah, they need to fix some things.
But
I was going to mention the Saturday Night Special real fast before we dive into the WrestleMania news and WWE. Saturday Night Special is coming Saturday, so tomorrow night. Big marquee matches include Michael Hayes taking on Rocco Bellagio. The team of Raul Lamada and Anarchia take on the Southern Tag Team Champions and Rudy Switchblade and Mr. Pegtacular. I know Jimmy would be mad if I didn't say Mr. Pegtacular. Jesse Gardens for the Southern Tag Team titles. We have Espinoza taking on Paradise, and if Espinoza loses, we're going to see some secret video that Paradise knows what it is, but we do not. And then the other match, Jamin Olivencia takes on Muhammad Ali Vaez. Should be a great, entertaining match. And then the big match, Johnny Spade takes on his best friend, what looked to happen last week, former best friend, Charlotte Jones, for the richest prize in OVW, the OVW Heavyweight Championship. So definitely check that out, Saturday Night Special. I'll be there. Will you be there?
Maybe.
What?
I want to see you in the match, but I mean, it was a struggle for me to pull myself out of bed today to do the show. I mean, if I'm feeling better tomorrow night, I will definitely be there. I will definitely be there. God, you're giving me the look of doom. Because you know we're your biggest supporters. You know, when we go there.
I know.
That's why he's pissed that you're not going.
That's a huge match.
I'll
comparing this right now, minus the heavyweight title, what you will see. Do you remember the Shawn Michaels Diesel No Holds Barred match?
Oh my God, amazing.
How those two just ripped into each other? Now, the thing is, I don't like Rocco. He's never been a friend of mine. So I have no reason to hold back. None of this better friends, whatever enemies. that. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tear into that guy. Yeah. Telling you, this Saturday Night Special is we're gonna blow the roof off.
Yeah. And then the last match I forgot to mention,
it
actually controls the entire fate of OVW. Rob Terry taking on Trailer Park Trash.
This is huge.
If Rob Terry wins, Trash loses his spot as director of operations, then Josette would keep her spot. If Trash wins, then Josette's job is done. So, and Danny Davis came out on the show. If you didn't see the show this past week, check it out, OVWrestling.com. Also, if you live in the Louisville area, channel 138 WKY on Saturdays at 1 o'clock and 9 o'clock. Danny Davis said, please root for Trailer Park Trash. If he wins, he's controlling my company, which he doesn't understand.
It's his company.
It's his company.
I did want to ask you, we know how you operate in a Trailer Park Trash run, OVW. What would Michael Hayes do in a Josette Bynum run, OVW?
Beat the crap out of people. I'm not going anywhere, so she's not gonna run me out. I don't care.
I mean, she brought you back.
Anyway, she brought me back, so whatever. Probably the best decision she's ever made. I don't know. I hope not. I just don't want to. I hope not. What Trailer Park Trash has done for OVW is like we were talking about, that grassroots movements, that expansion, that resurgence. He is the one that grabbed it, pulled it out of the hole that it was in, and said, "Hey, guys, we've done this before. Follow me. We're going to take this company back to the top." And I think, I don't want that to change because we're making too much.
Yeah, ever since I found out he was in charge, it's gotten a lot better. The product, ever since we've been going, it's just risen.
He's doing his best. He's busting his butt. He's giving these guys, he's giving all of us so many opportunities to just get in there and compete and wrestle. And I just don't. I'm not a big fan of. I won't be happy. A happy camper.
So go Trailer Park Trash for sure.
But I think he can do it.
Yeah.
I don't have any doubts in him. He's the man.
I do have to throw out, Terry Bodie asked me to mention his new website, thefanadvocate.com. Check it out. A lot of good stuff. The information that we here at Triple Threat Talk can't provide you, because even though we know a lot of the guys now, we talk to Michael and all that when we get to the arena, and of course Michael's doing the show with us now, and we talk to other people out when we get to the arena. Only Terry can provide you with the footage and the stories that we cannot, because we are not part of the locker room. We're thrilled to be there, but we don't know what's going on in the locker room, just like everybody else. We infer and make intelligent decisions based, like we do with the WWE, on where they will be going and what will happen. So check it out, and you'll see a lot of stuff, a lot of good stuff coming from Terry.
So that's it for our OVW coverage. Check out OVW at OVWrestling.com for all the updates on Superstars and obviously the TV tapings. If you live in the Louisville area, go to channel 138 WKYI on Saturdays at 1 o'clock and 9 o'clock.
You guys got it.
Check out Terry's Facebook page, facebook.com/Terry P. Bodie, and also his Twitter page, which the link is at the bottom. I can't remember the exact name, but the links are all there, so just click on them.
Terry Bodie's awesome.
Yes. Terry Bodie is
amazing asset that has been a blessing to OVW.
So now, get to the big story this past weekend. WrestleMania.
Primo and Epico?
Yeah, I watched it on my phone, and my phone died on me. So, Primo and Epico surprisingly retained their titles against the Usos and Gabriel and Kidd. I do like Primo and Epico, but I thought what was going on because of the Hall of Fame that the Usos inducted Yokozuna that past Saturday night. I thought they would win the titles, but Primo and Epico are still the tag team champions.
I don't know what to think of this, because I think if it were anyone else but Yokozuna, like maybe one of their actual relatives, I think they probably would have won, but I don't know.
So, the pre-match was good. It showed the fans early access they were watching on streaming, on phones or computers, wherever you're watching it. How the set was very good. I liked how the set was designed. The palm trees, everything was very Florida-esque. It was a very good job by WWE, as always, at WrestleMania.
And that's exactly a couple weeks ago when y'all were asking how they would set it up. That was pretty darn close to how I said it would be set up.
So now we actually get into the meat of the show. Daniel Bryan, yes! Took on Sheamus in an 18-second match. 18 seconds! No!
You know, for a while, West Virginia, the first time after the Rick Pitino and Karen Cyphers scandal, West Virginia, and this is why I think U of L fans should hate West Virginia fans more than they hate Kentucky fans, because they went to Morgantown to a chant of 15 seconds. For those of you guys that know the story, I won't go into it, but You know, I think now we have a new chant. 18 seconds.
No, still yes.
Oh, come on.
Yes is the new what?
Yeah, yes is...
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. I tried to start that the other night at OVW. No
It
one
was
shot me.
happening at NBA games.
Baseball games.
Baseball
It
games.
The
happened-
Miami game.
It happened in the Miami. See? See?
I mean... And
to this point, I wasn't happy. I mean,
this is what we're going to talk about.
I'm very
Should've
happy.
been paying attention to
I'm
ball
very
already.
happy Sheamus is the new world champion. Sheamus is my favorite wrestler at the moment in WWE. I've always said that. But not only did they not get to showcase their talent on the biggest stage, I mean, not just for Daniel Bryan losing the title so quickly, but Sheamus wasn't out there that long either.
Right.
Which I think WWE is showing that, you know, I mean, Jimmy was telling me that they wanted to kind of break the record of a couple years ago when Kane beat Chavo Guerrero in 8 seconds. Obviously, they failed that. But, I mean, that was for the ECW title, which, let's be honest, ECW wasn't that prominent in WWE anyway. They completely killed it, in my opinion. And then you have two guys that are very good, and Sheamus and Daniel Bryan. They don't even get enough time to display themselves, and that makes the World Championship look weak.
In years past, whenever they've done this, we know something happened. Daniel Bryan made somebody mad. Had to have. Because this couldn't have been part of the story. There was too much filler in WrestleMania and stuff like that with the whole Funkasaurus thing. And all that sort of thing. And Pitbull, I think, had a little bit more of a concert than he should have, although it was very good. In your experience, what does something like this mean? Because when we delve into this stuff on the show, we very rarely have somebody who's inside the business to help, guide us along. It's all intelligent inferences, and if you go back and watch our first 3 shows, we were on fire, especially then, and we have been really on since. But am I off key in thinking that Daniel Bryan made somebody mad?
Yeah.
You think so?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Well, what do you think?
I think you're reading too much into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I really do. Just let it. Enjoy Daniel Bryan because we haven't seen the best of this this guy yet. He's the guy has been tearing up the wrestling scene for years now, and I know a lot of people weren't happy with the result of his WrestleMania title match, but I don't think it's the last WrestleMania title match we see from Daniel Bryan by any means. The guy he just oozes pro wrestling. Shouldn't have been kissing AJ.
Kiss of death. Kiss of death.
He's hot. I give you that, man. I'll give you that. But when the bell rings, brother, when you have a big Irish guy across the ring from you,
fella.
Yeah, big Irish fella.
Yeah.
I don't read too much into it. But I will tell you this: people are unhappy about it, but they're gonna remember it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
WrestleMania moment.
It is.
We're all gonna know what happened. WrestleMania Miami when Daniel Bryan lost in 18 seconds to Sheamus.
And then a match that I was surprised to who won because it was the guy's birthday, for crying out loud.
It was also Erica's birthday. Happy birthday to you, sweetie. Love you.
Yeah, I'm sure she's watching.
She will be.
Okay. You make her watch it?
She watches on
Happy
her
birthday,
record.
Erica.
Erica.
Happy birthday, Erica.
Thank you.
Kane defeated Randy Orton, which, to my surprise, was a shocker.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember who I picked.
You picked Orton. I picked Kane.
Okay. I'll have to look at that again.
Yeah.
But it was good. I think it's good for some
2 words.
What?
Suck it.
Anyway, but it was good to see.
Like him like that.
It was good. It was good to see Kane win. I think it was different because you were expecting Randy Orton to win, and for Kane to pick up the win at WrestleMania with his new look, which I love Kane's new look. I love the mask and everything. Back to the old way he used to be. I think that was a good one for Kane. So.
Yeah, it's a good one for Kane. It's a good put down Randy Orton. Randy Orton's the man.
Yeah.
Randy Orton is that discussion we had with John Cena earlier. Randy Orton's he's right there.
Yeah, OVW bread.
He's
sure.
right there, and he is. Yes, he came out of the stables of OVW, and he's awesome.
That's one thing I've never understood. You're talking about the grassroots movement of OVW. I never really understood why it even took a back seat because some of the people that are now key superstars in the WWE, there's at least 8 of them, and 2 of them are at the top: Randy Orton and John Cena.
Yeah. And don't forget about Batista.
Batista will be coming back, and
Brock Lesnar,
Wade Barrett.
Wade was there. Cody was there.
Mm-hmm.
Punk was at OVW. Mm-hmm. I know he made his name on the indie circuit and did the Ring of Honor, but he came to OVW before he was put on Raw or ECW or SmackDown. Yeah. So, OVW was a.
we missed the ball, didn't we?
it was a petri dish of talent. It was just like this, you could just basically, they were just the guys that were training there. Rip Rogers, Danny Davis, all the trainers there were just, they were like mad scientists, just pumping out talented people and making world champions. But yeah.
You can mention the next
Big
match.
Show was even there at one point.
You can mention
Mark Henry was there.
Yeah, Mark Henry was there at one point. Big Show.
Mm-hmm.
This is the part where, I
want to skip this one.
We're lucky Big B is still alive because, and I can't see the Big Show being the Intercontinental Champion after he was so recently the WWE Champion, but we now have a new WWE Intercontinental Champion, much to my delight and to
I hate you so much.
Dislike. Big Show, new Intercontinental Champion. Questions, comments, concerns, Big B?
I have a big concern. No, but I did say this was coming. I did pick the Big Show to win.
Did.
As much as I dismay, I picked it.
It's historic, man. Isn't that Big Show's first win at WrestleMania?
Singles win.
Singles win?
He's won tag matches before.
Yeah, that was huge.
That's come at the expense of Cody Rhodes. But the only thing I can look forward to this is Big Show has the Intercontinental title. That's fine. Keep it, Big Show. Cody will win the world title, hopefully by the end of this year. And the Big Show will be like, oh, I have the Intercontinental title, and then I just lost it to Hornswoggle, probably. Watch. Just watch SmackDown. Watch Hornswoggle win the Intercontinental title. I wouldn't be surprised. He was Cruiserweight champion, so.
Maria Menounos. I mean, the biggest piece of eye candy of the night, I thought. I mean, she's awesome.
Other than Eve Tor.
Other than Eve. Kelly, they defeat Beth and Eve. That was, the Divas matches, I'm starting to, not just because of the way they look, because, they market them as sexy and talented and all that stuff, but now we are definitely seeing a lot of talent because we've made it on the show. Eve is one of the better wrestlers, I think.
Yeah, she's very good.
She's very good. And Kelly's gotten better. I mean, the women's division takes a back seat, but I don't think it's deserved because I think that they've had some good matches. I mean, what was it, 3 pay-per-views ago? The match, it was Beth and
Eve.
Beth and Eve.
She did the
It's probably
the top rope.
The second best match of the night. I mean, just amazing some of the matches that we're getting out of the Divas division.
Yeah.
Those girls are good.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Very.
Take no credit from those girls. They're in there busting their butt. Yeah. They're in there. They're beating each other up just like the rest of those guys. So don't. Yeah.
And then for control of Raw and SmackDown, Team.
Actually, I think I'm more equipped to do this.
Yeah, you are.
Now.
Yeah.
Team John Laurinaitis. God.
See what happens. See what happens when you do it.
Definitely getting the win over Team Long. Thanks to Eve, and when Eve came out with Zack Ryder, I looked over to Big B and to a couple of other friends. I said, my spidey sense is tingling. And a Swift, and now Zack Ryder has something tingling on himself after that Swift kick
right to the broskies.
To the broskies.
But what's it mean for Teddy Long? Is he done?
I hope not.
Teddy
Long oozes charisma, whereas John Laurinaitis just
oozes.
I used to have a WCW Teddy Long trading card.
Are you serious?
Yeah, Teddy Long's been around for a while, man.
He's been around for a while.
He's been a manager or a referee.
I believe it was when he managed. The card was from when it was something like that. He was when he managed Ron Simmons. So.
Yeah, had a big afro, Teddy Long. So then the match of the night, in my opinion, I think, and in your opinion as well, end of the era match. Undertaker took on Triple H inside the Hell in a Cell with special referee Shawn Michaels, and Taker won, which it's expected at WrestleMania, but the match was just amazing. And I'll say this again, like last year when Taker fought, there's a point, now Taker's fought Michaels twice and Triple H twice. There's a point in every single one of those matches, last 4 years, where you think there's a point where Taker is going to lose. And at WrestleMania 28, where Michaels hit the super kick and Triple H pedigreed him, that was the point for me where I thought the streak is over, and it wasn't, and Taker prevails again. So.
It was an amazing match. I said all along I would have hated to have followed it, but they did.
A couple matches did. 2 matches.
Kind of successfully. I think it was the best match of the night, but anytime you have an end of an era, even if it's a once-in-a-lifetime match coming up, I think that it was one of those things where I would hate to follow. What'd you think about it?
it was emotional for me. Watching those guys for so long as a fan and looking up to them and wanting to be a wrestler, wanting to be like them as a kid. Just seeing that image at the end of all three of them standing there, knowing that what the era that I really, really grew up with in wrestling, the era that brought me into wrestling is gone. It's gone.
Yeah.
We saw history. We saw one of the most brutal, hard-hitting, beautiful ballet-like wrestling matches I've ever seen. There were so many stories were told. There were so many emotions. It was an emotional roller coaster. I didn't want it to end, to be honest with you. Yeah, it was something else.
The question I pose to you is: now that Taker's 20-0, is he done? Is he not wrestling at WrestleMania anymore? Is Taker's streak 20-0 and that's it?
It's a hard one. I think there's a couple people that we'd like to see him face. I don't know if he will.
Yeah.
I think it's done. I don't know. Yeah. What about you, Michael? You think he's done?
20-0 is a good number, that's for sure.
Just in the short amount of time I have been wrestling, given my other physical past, I already know that I'm already starting to feel the physical toll of pro wrestling. And that Taker's been in the business for a lot longer.
Yeah, that's 47. So,
so he, I hope for his body's sake, because I would hate to see anything bad happen to him health-wise. For his body's sake, I hope it's over. I hope he calls it, because you want to go out on top, and he's on top.
For sure.
But you never know, man. You never know.
Never know. And then the best in the world match, CM Punk who took on Chris Jericho. Another excellent match, which I expected because these guys are two of the best in the world, obviously. And CM Punk actually defeated Chris Jericho. It was an amazing match. I thought Jericho was going to win, but Punk proves that he is the best in the world by defeating Jericho in a heck of a contest.
I thought it was a very good match. I look forward to see where they're going with it. They kind of left it. Where are they going to go with this? So I definitely look forward to see what's down the road.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we had Once in a Lifetime.
Once in a Lifetime.
Which, in my opinion, I think CM Punk and Chris Jericho fell a little bit short of end of an era. Not too much, but a little bit. And then we saw this match, which I think was right up there with end of an era.
Yeah.
And this match was
something that we never thought we'd see.
Yeah.
Because when John Cena took the ball and ran with it, The Rock was doing Hollywood and didn't think he'd come back. And The Rock comes back and challenges John Cena to WrestleMania 28. And the match, the hype, everything lived up to it. The match was incredible. My eyes were glued the whole time. And The Rock proved that John Cena just can't beat The Rock.
I just thought it was poetic justice when John Cena tried to hit the, you can't see me 5-knuckle shuffle and turn right around. He could not see that rock bottom.
No, People's Elbow went for it at the end.
Oh, yeah, the People's Elbow, yeah.
Yeah, it was, that's another one, to see one of those guys that I grew up watching and have him step in the ring and just tear it down again. It was incredible. It's incredible. I think what we saw at this WrestleMania, from top to bottom, was one of the best WrestleMania cards in quite some time. And I felt like a kid again watching it.
Yeah.
WrestleMania moments like the Hell in a Cell, Punk and Jericho, even Daniel Bryan and Sheamus, but definitely Rock Cena is why I want to work for that company. Why I want to be a pro wrestler. Period. So yeah, it was something else.
Yeah, and that question someone posed a couple weeks ago was like, "Do you think this is the best WrestleMania card ever?" And it was right up there. It's a very good card, absolutely.
It very well could be. I'm not gonna lie. It could be the best WrestleMania card ever.
It's up there.
It's very much up there.
Very good. So that's WrestleMania coverage. Raw. We did touch a little bit earlier about The Rock. He did vow to become WWE champion again. That was the beginning of Raw. The debut of War Tensai. Let's be honest here. We all know it's A-Train Albert, and he demolished. Oh my God, did he demolish Alex Riley? My goodness.
Squash.
And the funny thing I found about Lord Tensai Albert A-Train, whatever you want to call him, He's been gone such a long time, and his finisher is still the same thing it was back then. The Baldo Bomb, whatever he's calling it now. Oh, my God. But he had interesting tattoos on his face.
Yeah, he did.
A lot of tattoos.
A lot of tattoos.
Albert.
He got those from over in Japan.
That guy's been dominating over in Japan.
Yeah.
He has been just tearing through people in Japan. I like it.
Yeah. And it's funny that the rumors where he was coming back, and the guy's name's not really Albert. His name's Matt Bloom, obviously, if people know that. And he was interviewed, and he said, "Oh, I'm not coming back." And obviously, he has to deny it because they want the spoiler to get out. But he's like, "My wife just had a baby. I'm not coming back." Well, he's back. So we'll see what happens with him. See where he goes from there. I mean, obviously, they're bringing him back for a reason. Interesting new character for him. So we'll see what happens with Mr. Lord Tensai in the future. CM Punk did have a WWE title match retained against Mark Henry. He won it via count. And then Jericho, who said on Twitter earlier in the day that he lost to Punk and he thinks that he should move on or whatever from it. But he came out, beat up Punk, hit him with a couple bottles of Jack Daniels, and poured it on him. So Punk was supposed to.
It's alcohol abuse, Jericho.
It is alcohol abuse.
It's alcohol abuse.
So I do like this thing with Jericho and Punk continuing. I do like it. So
it's emotion, man. That's real. Yeah, it's real.
Yeah. And then Alberto Del Rio came out and confronted Sheamus. And as of this taping, this will air probably before SmackDown. I'm hoping it airs before SmackDown. There has a match actually tonight against Sheamus for the world title on SmackDown. So we'll see what happens with that. Sheamus defending his world title first against Del Rio. I'm sure Daniel Bryan won't be happy about it. He doesn't get first crack. So, but Del Rio back, I think, is good. I like Del Rio.
I like him. I like Del Rio.
Anyone notice the C chants?
Yeah.
When Del Rio came out?
Yeah. See
what that 18 seconds did for Daniel Bryan.
Exactly.
18 seconds.
So the end of the night, the biggest thing of the night. John Cena came out at the end of the show. He wanted The Rock to come out and congratulate him. He wasn't gonna. People were hoping that John Cena would turn heel that night, and he didn't. The crowd wanted him to backlash. He did not. He basically wanted The Rock to come out so he congratulate him on a good match. He wasn't gonna call The Rock out and challenge him again. That was the match. So it doesn't look like The Rock and John Cena are gonna fight again. I don't know, but he didn't get The Rock, did he?
You put a B in front of The
Rock,
got and that's
Brock.
what you got.
And the crowd wanted him. We heard it in the Horn Hall said, "We want Lesnar." And even though they knew he was coming, the crowd still exploded. The roof could have blown off. I don't know. Maybe it did, but I don't know. But Lesnar came back to a roaring crowd. F5 John Cena. And the thing I remembered, I don't think anyone really noticed this, but when Brock Lesnar F5 John Cena, they showed Brock Lesnar and he said, "I've been waiting a long time. I've been waiting a long-ass time." So I don't know if he was meaning F5ing John Cena or coming back to WWE in general.
Probably coming back to WWE because I know a lot of people are glad to see him back. I'm glad to see him back. I know when he first came in and had his manager always speaking for him.
Paul Heyman, heck of a guy.
Paul Heyman was speaking for him. It was all funny because we always thought that he wasn't intelligent because like me smash, me Brock. So it turns out he's a very smart guy. Went to MMA for a little bit, and it's glad to have him back. Mm-hmm. Were you shocked when he came out, or were you wanting him to come out? Or
of course, I want a guy like Brock Lesnar back in pro wrestling. It's one of those. It's one of those things where it just takes the whole business up a notch.
Yeah.
He just turned up the volume on everybody. Now the news was talking. I mean, Yahoo News, AOL, like anything I picked up, any sports website, news website I went to, they were talking about Brock Lesnar coming back on Raw, which is not good for John Cena because he had F5, which that would probably suck.
Yeah.
But it's good for it's good for everyone.
Good for WWE. Good for the business.
Yeah, it's definitely. If you're a pro wrestler and you didn't want to be at the WWE before, I don't see how you don't want to be there now.
Yeah, it's getting exciting, that's for sure.
Yes, it is.
And the last thing I have on is the yes. I mean, all through the night we heard Daniel Bryan chants during The Rock's opening segment, during CM Punk's matches, during John Cena's last segment, and there's even a video I found online of Daniel Bryan addressing the crowd after the show, and people were going nuts for Daniel Bryan, cheering yes. It was unbelievable, anything I've ever seen. The fact that the Miami Heat game was cheering it, the Miami Marlins game on opening night against the Cardinals was cheering it. This thing is blown up. And actually, for those of you who don't follow Daniel Bryan on Twitter, it actually was reported yesterday that the people at WWE Shop have listened. They have listened to the yes chants. And a Daniel Bryan yes t-shirt could be on WWE Shop as early as Monday, and I will tell you this, I'll be purchasing one.
18 seconds.
Yes.
I mean, we've seen that translate into yes, yes, yes. It's definitely sweeping. Michael made a very good point earlier. Yes, yes, yes is the new what?
I mean, it's funny that this blew up so fast. I was reading things today that people were wanting in the new WB13 game. Corley Desmond was one of the bigger people on the game. He said no comment with a smiley face, so he's thinking about it. It should be awesome with this yes thing. WWE officials do think it's going to die down after this week, and it's going to go back to as usual, Daniel Bryan. I'm hoping it doesn't, because this yes thing is very exciting. The Raw crowd was nothing like I've ever seen before. The Raw crowd was so hyped up for everything. And the yes thing just made it all more memorable. I mean, I'll never forget that crowd. The yes thing was just fantastic.
That was probably the best WrestleMania Raw combo we're gonna see in a long time.
Yeah, the crowd was fantastic. So that does it for wrestling coverage. Any idiot of the week you have?
I don't really have an idiot of the week this week. No one really made idiotic, but we do have a segment on the show called the Wild Card, and you can just kind of let loose, talk about anything you want to talk about. So if you have a wild card, we usually start with Big B or whatever. And then we can go to me, and then we'll finish it with you, since it's kind of taking since we're just dropping this on you. Yeah. But we do this thing where you can literally talk about anything, sports, games, anything you want to talk about. You can do that. So we'll start off with Big B on your wild card, because I know you've got one.
Yeah, Big B and a tennis racket. Probably like, what's that mean? What does that mean? Well, I'll tell you. All right, we live here in Louisville, and there's a tennis club here in Louisville called the Tennis Club at Springhurst. And I've told them before, I'm a big fan of tennis. There's no doubt about that. They know that. And I love playing the game. So next week, starting April 9th, from that Monday to Friday, there's actually a tennis camp at Springhurst. And I'm going to be participating in it. Hopefully I get better. I want to improve my game. I actually got a new racket. So I'm hoping that starting Monday, I get to meet some awesome people. Maybe tell them about the show. Tell them I want you to get some more viewers, obviously. But I'm there primarily to learn, get better, and just enjoy the game of tennis with a bunch of people that are there for the same reason I am. So,
mine is short and sweet. It is about basketball. These comparisons I've heard all week. I said it the other week. You hear Anthony Davis compared to the likes of Bill Russell, Tim Duncan, Patrick Ewing. At one point you have to take a step back and consider. There's no comparison to Anthony Davis. He is not the second Patrick Ewing. He is not the second.
You're talking about yesterday.
Yeah, he is not the second Tim Duncan. He's not the second Bill Russell. He is the first Anthony Davis. And I don't think we'll ever see a kid like this again, but maybe in 15, 20 years somebody will say, hey, John Doe is the next Anthony Davis.
Or whatever.
Because Anthony Davis is the first Anthony Davis.
Absolutely.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Watch OVW television. Come to the Saturday night special. Go to OVWrestling.com. Check out our events. If you don't live in Louisville and you see us coming around somewhere in Kentucky or in Indiana, come to the show. We go out there and we bust our butt. And on a consistent basis, you're gonna see a great wrestling show. If you have any ideas, benefits, whatever, get online, throw something out there. You want OVW to come to your town, let it be known. We're a bunch of hungry guys that just want to get in there and beat the crap out of each other for you. With that said, I think Saturday's going to be a huge moment in OVW history. Saturday's going to be a big moment, I think, in Michael Hayes' history, actually. Please be on luck. And I'm going to go on record and say within the next, before winter, before Christmas comes, so maybe the next 6 months or so, Michael Hayes will be the OVW heavyweight champion. And when that happens, I will come right back on the show and show everybody that it happened. So yeah, keep a lookout. And just keep checking your TV. Watch wrestling. Just keep watching wrestling. People, keep watching wrestling. It's cool to watch wrestling again. Watch it. Watch all of it. Watch all of it. It's cool.
It's very good stuff.
You never know when you're going to see somebody new.
Exactly.
And we tell people this, and this is the biggest compliment. We're going to close up the show before we do. There are certain people that we don't want to see in OVW, and it's not for bad reasons.
It's for good reasons.
We don't want to see Ali anymore because we want to see, because he's got talent. Marcus Anthony, we said Marcus Anthony. Marcus Anthony is now in Bigger Better Things. Silvio. We don't want to see Silvio. And as much as it would suck.
Yeah.
Because we like you. We love talking to you. We don't want to see you in OVW much longer.
I appreciate that. I don't know. I appreciate it. And as much as I love OVW and I love the Davis Arena is now my home. If I could bring my dogs to the Davis Arena and just stay there, I'd live there. But I don't. Yeah, it's not too far down. I don't think it's too far off. I think I've made a pretty good headway into the business in this first 2 years. I guess 18 months really right now. So I greatly appreciate that. That is a huge compliment. I definitely don't take that the wrong way. I don't think anybody would. I hope they wouldn't.
Yeah.
We have a lot of good opportunities with our relationship with Impact. We're still getting guys signed by the WWE. Marcus just left. So I think it's just a matter of time. So I greatly appreciate it.
I just whenever it happens, just don't forget us. For sure.
You'll need to get T-shirts, so then I can rock your T-shirt with Gregg Williams.
Exactly. All right.
So that does it for the show this week. If you want to like us on Facebook, you can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/triplethreattalk. You can follow us on Twitter at triplethreattalk with 1 T. And you can send us any comment or question you have at triplethreattalk@yahoo.com. So with Triple Threat Talk, this is Big B.
This is the doctor who's going to the doctor.
This is Michael, not the Freebird Hayes. Every time you go to a match. Yes, this is Michael Hayes. Watch Triple Threat Talk Radio. Watch it. Watch wrestling, TV, and fans. You guys are awesome.
Thanks for watching, guys, and thanks to Michael Hayes.